Ooh, there's a part of me right now that is really hoping that one person, one specific person in the whole entire world is not going to watch this video. I know it sounds kind of bad, but I'm just this one time, I'm just hoping that my neighbor doesn't hear this message. Why? Because straight up, I'm a little embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by how bad a neighbor I was. You know, throughout the Bible, there are tons of verses that tell me to love my neighbor, love one another, and be the good Samaritan. All these things just make me feel guilty as heck when I think about my grumpy neighbor. You know, I get it. We're supposed to love people, and I do. I love my family. I love the people at my church, like most of the time. I love the people that I love. That's easy. It's just super difficult to love this one grumpy neighbor. Okay. I remember one time, the maddest I've ever been with this guy, we had a guest of one of my kids come over to hang out at our house, and he had parked in an unmarked but understood as not for us little space for my neighbor's car. A couple of hours later, as our friend was leaving, we found his car completely sealed off. My neighbor had parked his car so close that it was impossible to get in. What? Like passive aggressive much? Even though it was almost midnight, I walked up to my neighbor's front door and knocked loudly on it. He grumpily, groggily woke up. I explained the situation. He came out, moved his car. End of story. Now, some of you may be saying, like, that's it? That's all you got for a bad neighbor story? Wait until you hear mine. Okay, follow me here. I only have 3 minutes, and the other parts of the story are just way too darn embarrassing. There's a specific verse in the Bible, though, that has helped me tremendously, not just with this one grumpy neighbor, but in all my people interactions. It's in Romans, and it says, if it's possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. So you live better and longer when you live in peace with the people around you. Not only should we love, but we need to love because it's good for us. The quality and quantity of your life improves when you live in peace. And peace is the absence of war. It's a cessation of hostilities. And this has to be one of the big objectives for your life if you're a follower of Jesus. Now, if you read that verse carefully, you'll see that it says it may not always be possible to do this, all right? So before you rejoice and say, okay, see, I told you my neighbor or my coworker, my spouse is the impossible one, we need to recognize that with God, all things are possible. Your neighbor probably isn't the worst one in the world, and I know that mine isn't. In fact, the bigger challenge is really not your neighbor at all. It's you, it's me. The if it's possible is clarified by the next part of the verse when it says, as far as it depends on you. You need to do all that is within you and your power, everything that you have and can do to make peace possible. Look at Jesus. Even though he was someone, he made himself no one, and he responded to the worst neighbors possible by willingly dying for them on the cross. So be like Jesus. Love your neighbors.